And there we are with sound. Hello. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone had a lovely day and is ready to relax with some time in the kitchen because it's good enough to eat. Um, Today we'll be doing a couple of recipes. I wanted to do hot cross buns because I keep seeing them cooked places, so I figured why not give it a shot. Um, And then Mark said this one might be too simple for him, so he wanted something tasty as well on the side. So I've been also talking about doing Millionaire bars. Um, and I've seen a million different recipes for those, so hopefully we'll do something that turns out pretty nice. But let's get started. Millionaire bars are it's a fancy name for like a sheet cookie or like a bar cookie. It's a layer of generally shortbread and then some kind of mousse or caramel and then a ganache chocolate on top. And then you cut them into shape. You cut them into nice even shapes and put decorations and things on top, so they just look really fancy. But I mean, all they are is some cookie and some filling and some chocolate. So you really can't go wrong. But that's what we're doing today. Thank you for the question, Vinny. Welcome in. Let's get started. The hot cross buns are, of course, bread, so they will have proofing time. So I'm going to get that going first and let that get itself working, kneading and proofing times. Um, so I'm going to get those going so I can start working on the other stuff afterwards. I have my scale out here, but I don't know why because I measured everything out, so I would not use a scale. But there is my yeast in the bowl. And some flour, and that is just gonna mix around very quickly just to distribute the yeast throughout the mixture. And then we're gonna throw everything else in. And a bit. My very precise measurements here. I'll need flour later, so let's not put that all the way away. Let me just I don't need to, I'm just gonna whisk that up. And then as I make this is an enriched dough. And because it's gonna have long and multiple proofs, I am not gonna worry too much about getting the yeast all nice and happy right away. It can sit and hang out and do its thing over the course of several proofs. Hi, Agiru. Welcome in. I love that emote. Nice little chill ass kitty wearing the sunglasses. Okay, I will put my milk in. And this is an enriched dough, which just means it's not just a regular bread dough, which is often just flour and yeast and salt and water. But this has things that will inhibit the yeast growing, which just means it takes longer. Um, which is in this case milk and eggs and butter. And then I need a quarter cup of sugar. Clay is watching from the couch as he plays his zombie survival game. He's playing Days Gone over there, but popping in to say hi. Americans bake. Oh, I know. I actually do have these measurements all in weights too. I was just being really lazy. So, please judge me. I'm aware. I just didn't feel like fighting with the scale right now. Yes, but I am being a lazy American baker today. If this were something more finicky in the baking, I would uh, most certainly go by weights. But since this is just going to be uh, bread, it's just going to go by feel. Um, I'd say it's going to go by feel, but I've never done it before, so hopefully I will have a good instinctual feel. Um, I do need the last egg. I wasn't sure. Uh, Hopefully it'll work out to the correct texture. And if it doesn't, I'll tell you it did, because I'll know where I went wrong. And if it does, and even if it doesn't, I mean, it's still going to be tasty. It might be a tiny bit tough, but there's nothing that cannot be fixed by slicing and toasting and slathering in some butter. So, however it turns out, it'll be tasty. It's my egg. I think that's everything. Flour, sugar, egg, salt, yeast, and there will be butter going in later, but this does need to knead for a while before I go with the butter. So I'll just take it back here to the mixer and let it do its thing. And set a timer because it's actually going to sit here and hang out and go nice and slow and gentle for 30 minutes, which is another reason I'm doing this shortbread today, because I need something to do while this is rocking away back here. Let me just set this timer. Okay. Yeah, I do generally do in weights, but when I'm feeling lazy, just not doing it today. For cake, I would. And I think I actually am for the shortbread too. The recipe I'm basing it on is in weights, which is of course much better. I really shouldn't be lazy about it. So let's do this one. This dough, I'm going to be lazy in a different way because it's going to come together for me in the food processor. So this is going to be the base of my Millionaire bars. Try to figure out what I did with my scale. Oh, it's back here. Let's get some of that egg off the counter. And this is actually, I don't know if you're a fan of Bake Off, Agiru, but this is inspired by one of the recipes from one of the seasons of Bake Off. I know they've done Millionaire bars there a few times. I really wanted to make Liam's, the peanut butter chocolate one, but I'm pretty sure I have in-laws visiting this weekend, and I'm pretty sure I would be the only one eating a bunch of peanut butter. Um, or at least Mark says really over there, but he might eat some. I don't think his parents would. So I'm doing these ones because they're citrus. His mom is a big fan of citrus, and I want her to be able to enjoy them. Okay. So I'm using part cornmeal in the base, which is going to give it an interesting flavor texture kind of thing going on. And then where did I put the flour away already? Well, back there. I haven't said I was putting it back there, and I knew I would need it. Way out. some plain flour. Try not to forget what number I'm shooting for, because I did not tare it after doing my corn flour. There we go. Finland, okay. Unless they're on non-regional streaming services. Oh, yeah. We do have to wait a year or so usually to get the seasons of Bake Off, because they don't stream at the same time. So since I follow all the Instagrams, I know there was like a bunch of celebrity episodes that they were doing fundraising for cancer and things that I'd be interested in watching because they seem like fun. And I know that some of the hosts, I've seen their work and they're hilarious. So, but yeah, I have not been able to watch those because they are not released in the States yet. And icing sugar. And see, this is interesting too, that this recipe uses both icing sugar instead of granulated. It doesn't cream it with the butter, and the butter stays cold, which is one reason I'm using the food processor, because it'll mix in the butter nicer for me. Close enough. See, I always feel a little bit off when it's not perfect, but if it's only off by 2 grams, I'm sure it's good enough. So this just needs to pulse a couple of times until it's mixed together. And I do want to make sure that the cornmeal does get blitzed a little bit, just to take off a little bit of that coarse edge. So that's fine. Yes, blitzing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was explaining to my buddy Vinny in the chat earlier. It's just some shortbread and then some filling and then some chocolate on top. And usually it's decorated nicely. I will probably do something real simple on top because I am not the most artistic. I always make things that taste nice. Is there a Nailed It Finland? Because I did do a Nailed It challenge, and I was going to do the second challenge of episode 1, but then I watched what it was, and I did not feel like I should create any more media with that particular person. So I'm just going to skip that one and move on to a different one probably next week. Yeah. Something that looks nice, tastes nice. It's a little bit fancy. What am I doing? I am looking for butter. And I actually had to put butter back in the fridge because I had it out softening, expecting to need it softened. But then my recipe had to tell me that it wanted it cold, much to my chagrin. So I'm just going to dice this in big chunks to help the food processor along and also to weigh it. I know how much one brick of butter weighs. So I just need another 90-ish grams, which should be most of this second bar. Oop. Well, good thing I didn't need the whole bar because I dropped some on the floor. Conveniently, what I dropped was just under what I needed. I have that much left after what I dropped on the floor. It's a good thing I didn't need that whole bar. I would have had to go find some more butter. Which honestly I probably could have done because one thing we're never lacking in this house is butter. But, yeah. And then, because we have so many oranges, because we have an orange tree, I am going to use a bunch of orange zest. And they are small-ish oranges, so I will use a couple. But I know they're not waxed or anything, and there's no pesticides because they're from the tree outside, which is great for baking because I don't want to be eating pesticides and wax. I want delicious, zesty orange. And I don't know why I bothered doing that because I don't want to zest my orange through the feeder chute. Looks like you can hear the mixer going back there, but it's not terribly loud. And I think I did get it out. I'm going to get a little bit of... See, this doesn't have any salt in it. And I do want every layer to be seasoned. It's not that I want my shortbread to be salty, but I do want it to have that flavor bump, so I'm going to add a bit of orange, a small amount of vanilla, and a small amount of orange essence, just to kick up that orange flavor. I'm not going to have to worry about that in the ganache because I'm going to use these oranges to juice and create the ganache, so I won't have to worry about that. Okay. So, pinch of salt, a little bit of dry vanilla, just because I'm going to add a slight amount of orange essence, which is liquid, and I just don't want to mess up my... This one's not even open. Don't want to mess up my moisture ratios. Come on. Come on, nails. You are small, but you work. Right? Okay. I do like this little squeezy bottle. I can just put a few drops in. And I'll do that slowly at first until it starts coming together. I will look at my notes and make sure I didn't forget anything. This will be nice and crumbly. Who is that? Hi, Axel. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you being here. And there we go. As quickly as that, it's nice and together. Actually, let me just bop that sugar that fell, that got zinged up in the air. And you know it's going to taste good when you open it and it smells lovely and orangey. I'm doing fine, Axel. I am off work, having a nice calm stream today. Our last one was, or maybe it was 2 ago. 2 weeks ago it was somewhat frantic because I put myself on a timer just to see what the contestants of Nailed It have to go through. And then I was actually trying to make something looking really nice last week to give as presents to my mom and sister. So this week is nice and chill and calm. I'm going to feed it to family, but I'm not going to worry about it being like gift-worthy presentation. It'll just be tasty, and that'll be good enough. I think I'm going to do this as a tray bake. So I am just going to go get a Pyrex. I did not turn my oven on because I'm silly. So that's got to come up to temp. But that gives me time to go get my square tin. If I can find it, because I have not used it in a while. Here we go. And let me put a liner in that, because I will have to... See, this recipe just says to pat it into a square and bake it on a tin and things. I don't want to do that, so... Because I want it to just be like a tray of brownies for everything. So I wanted to put in my square of parchment that I'm going to trim up, just so I can pull it out on two sides. Let's see. If I only knew where scissors were, I could use them. That'll work, though. Really should have just done it on one side, so I wouldn't have to cut both sides of my parchment. But I did not think ahead, and I did it that way. I will get those for you. I will redeem those as soon as I get these ready to go in the oven, because, of course, gotta wash my hands after touching the floor. Today we are doing, I've got some brioche dough back in the mixer to make hot cross buns. Did I? Okay, good. And then because I need something to do, well, that's just back there kneading. So I'm making the Millionaire bars, the Millionaire shortbread. So this is my orange flavored shortbread dough over here, which is ready to go in the oven as soon as it comes up to temp. I'm just going to drop that right in and push it to the sides. Don't think I need this again, but I'm not going to put it in the sink because I know as soon as I do, I'm going to need it for something else. Because that is how poor my organizational skills are. I don't have like a method drawn out. I'm just kind of going for it. We are casual in the kitchen. I don't want to handle this too much because I can feel it's forming into a good dough right now because it's nice and chilled, but even just touching it is starting to melt the butter. So I want to get this just patted out pretty quickly. And it's going to be a pretty thick cookie base. So if you can see that, it's I don't know, however much that is. I don't know how to estimate these things. But that'll be ready to go in the oven as soon as it beeps at me. So one hand wash so I don't get a bunch of butter on the floor. Let's go to the fitness cam, and I'm going to have to reset everything afterwards, but I know what I'm in for, and take off my headset because there we go. One set of push-ups. Thank you for that redeem, keeping me fit enough to have one of these bars later. Favorite fruit? Can I give you a qualified answer, like depending on the season? um, because if you get really fresh apples in the winter, that's like favorite kind of wintry fruit. In the summer, it's probably pluots, real high up there, but peaches when they're not good in the summer, and they have to be firm. Like I don't like mushy fruit, so a good firm peach in the summer is really nice. But I think pluots might just take it over the peaches. So I very seldom choose a favorite. I can tell you things I really like, but my favorite's always going to depend on the situation. I know as a kid I was a huge fan of kiwi. I also really like cantaloupe, and I hate cantaloupe these days. So I don't know what that tells you. Not that I hate cantaloupe per se, but there's just so many better, more flavorful melons these days. So I've just moved on from them. Still got a few degrees, but we can check our recipe and start gathering things. You gotta love difficulty on the base recipe needs skill. Oh, yes. I did actually, for the first time, because I was home to water things, put some peppers and tomatoes in the garden. I should have planted many more of them because I'm not going to have a huge yield from those. I was really just testing if I was going to be able to keep some plants alive, and I'm doing okay so far. So hopefully I'll plant a bunch more. And I'm sure at some point I'll do like a fresh tomato sauce stream, or do tomato sauce to make lasagna, or do a panzanella or something once tomatoes are in season. So once those are really good and ripe and tasty, I will do something like that. One thing I can do is start squeezing oranges, because I know that's going to be somewhat time consuming. I think I don't need my food processor anymore either. I'll just put that aside. Get out heavy duty juicer today. Good, that fits right under there. And I just need, no, I'm just going to get the big cutting board now because I'm pretty sure I'll need it later. There we go. And that needs 17 minutes. Let's just tell Amazon to do that for me. That Amazon won't tell us sometimes if she has made our timer. Hi, Leah. Welcome in. How is your day? Today we are making hot cross buns, which I've never made before, and I'm not really a big bread maker, so I'm hoping that turns out right. And then because bread needs tons of time to knead and proof and all, I'm making Millionaire shortbread in the meantime. That is flavored with fresh oranges, zest and juice. Welcome in. I hope you had an amazing day. Did you work or do you still have to work? Not the best, but okay. Stress from things. Oh. Well, I hope you don't have to work then. I hope you have plenty of time to rest, hang out, and chill with husbands and puppies and kids and everything, and just have a nice, relaxing day. And I would absolutely send you some treats were I able. So, virtual treats. Ooh, donut shop. My goodness, I really want to go back to Portland because they have the most amazing donut shop. Have not been there in quite some time, but that would be so nice. Ate sushi. Yes, actually, I am a fan of sushi if it is well done. We have a great local spot, and we've been waiting for things to open up a little bit before going out there. But both me and my husband and my mom are excited to go and get some fresh sushi. Hopefully, like for his birthday in a few weeks. So fingers crossed that we get some good sushi pretty soon. What am I doing? I need, that was 100 mils. I need 300-ish. So I need like 4 plus more oranges because I think those were the 2 biggest ones. Mark's over there trying to make fetch happen. He's being chased by zombies. Zombies, I don't actually know what they call him in the game he's playing. He could say it in the chat. Ah, my knife is so dull. Oh my goodness. My knife is so dull I need to stab my orange to give myself a spot to slice through. Stab, slice. I live in California, Axel. Which is interesting because especially when I first started streaming, I did not know anyone that streamed on the West Coast. So whenever I was talking to anyone about it, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be streaming at 5. And they're like, what, 5? They never see you on at 5. And then I realized they're on the East Coast or they're in the UK. So 5 for me is like 8 or 1 in the morning, 8 p.m., 1 in the morning for some of those folks. So I always had to remember to start posting that I was streaming at 5 Pacific time. But so when I say Portland, I do mean the Portland that's in Oregon, which is just an hour flight to the north. I have several friends that moved up there, people I knew in high school and college. So it's not like I don't have people to visit. But of course, I have not been doing any traveling in the last year and a half. So, have not had the chance to get up there. And if anyone's curious why my orange juice is so dark, I did have one blood orange in that mix, so I got some nice dark red juice. And I think most of the rest of these are caracaras, so they're pretty dark, intense flavored oranges too. I'm going to be right about there. Now what I could do is make some orange juice twisties, candy them in some syrup, and use those as decorations. But we'll see. We'll see how ambitious I get. I have a whole big old handful of oranges to throw away. Sometime I'm going to figure out a better place to do my camera setup so I don't have to walk all the way around the house to get to the trash can. But that day is not today. Okay, let's check on our dough. Cool. Gonna call that now. And do the next step of this dough. I will actually bring the mixer over after I make myself some room. Try not to spill my orange juice like I spilled my coffee this morning. See, I didn't even have a chance for my coffee to evaporate this morning, Leah. I just spilled it everywhere, made a giant mess, had to clean it up, and then I was out of coffee. Mostly out of coffee. I had like half a cup left. But it was no good. Hi, Taylor. Welcome in. Axel, you're from Guatemala. Speak Spanish and trying to learn English. Okay. Welcome in. It's great to see people from other parts of the world. And if I'm speaking too quickly, just let me know and I'll try to slow down for you because I tend to get excited and talk really quickly, which is not good for learning other languages, which I know because that was one of the barriers in high school when I was trying to learn Spanish, actually. And conversation was, I could do fine when I was writing things, but conversation was difficult just because I couldn't process it quickly enough. I'd have to sit there after someone said something and wait until my mind could parse it until I could respond. Do you speak Spanish as well, Taylor? Okay. Before I get more distracted, I am just going to scrape down. Ooh, this is nice, firm, sticky dough. I'm going to actually use the other side of my tool here because it's a little bit more sturdy. And I will work down the dough from my hook as well. Probably should have put some flour on my fingers so it wouldn't stick so much. It smells nice over here though. That vanilla really comes through pretty nicely. Oh, yeah. I still work with the small bits of high school Spanish that I know. So I know some fruits and vegetables and left and right, and the days and months I still know, but other than that, very little. Okay, so I'm going to knock that up, and I'm going to just incorporate the butter in a little bit at a time. It's almost like I'm making buttercream now that I'm putting softened butter into it. It's kind of fun. I think I need to give it a little bit of help though, because it's not quite getting everything from the bottom, because it's pretty stiff, and it'll be stiff because it's not got a lot of moisture in it. There we go. That's better. There are a couple of lovely streamers that I follow that do every once in a while do Spanish streams as well. Um, so if you check out like Paper Gabe or Jolito, JO_LIT0, I believe. Um, they've done some Spanish streams before, and then they go back and forth between Spanish and English. So that's a fun space and a great learning environment. And of course, they're lovely streamers as well. And if you just like watching people play action and horror games, check out Terry Billie Jean. She's been streaming Blair Witch Project. Sometimes this needs help and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. We are getting there. I still have to put in another half stick of butter. Just about. I'm going to give that a little bit more assistance. Get this other stick going. It is softer than usual. It's almost like it's getting warm out here. It's warm outside, and it was nice inside until, of course, I turned the oven on. And so it is quickly becoming warm, and I will be sweating in here for another couple hours tonight. But if I'm getting sweaty anyway, then it's a good excuse to do a workout, because I'm going to have to shower anyway. So might as well, right? And I do want to eat all these hopefully lovely and delicious breads and bars that I'm making. Just throw it out, the whole stick of butter, Robo? Robo, you are a phenomenal chef yourself, so I know you're joking. So I'm going to put in the right amount of butter, no matter what Robo says. See, I need to save this butter. Baking is science, yes, yes. Although I am not quite being super scientific today. It is bread, it is less... This is a less finicky recipe than some. So I'm being a little bit lackadaisical. But it'll turn out fine. It'll be good enough. Regular, yeah, if it was just regular. I did do that yesterday. I was making some stir fry, and I was like, oh, I need to put some butter in to saute up these vegetables, and I had to have a stick left. And I'm like, I only need like a tablespoon. I just threw it in, all of it. But that rest of that butter, that's going to be delicious for putting on the baked buns. So, and it's already soft for me, so I don't have to worry about spreading it. Oh, come on. Come on, bread. Be nice to me. Okay. So that is going to sit there and work for a few minutes, which gives me time to chop up some apricots. Oh yes, yes, no one has done any shoutouts because Mark is busy being chased by zombies, and I am busy with dirty hands. Or food-covered hands. Yes, these ones will be baked, and these ones will be baked because it is hot in this kitchen. Apricots, apricots, apricots. I've got dried apricots here that I will do somewhat of a measure of because I do not want to load down my bread too much. I want it to be well distributed, but not so much that my bread doesn't rise. Good enough. And I'm also going to put in some slivered almonds, again, because they're just sitting around in the pantry, begging me to use them. Yes, the key to hot cross buns is a hot kitchen. Doesn't work otherwise. I'm just going to run my knife through all of these apricots so they're nice little apricot-y bits. And then I'm going to find some sort of delicious liquid to soak them in so they won't be so dry, because they're going to bake and they're going to lose some moisture there. And if I did not hydrate them at least a little bit, then they might be really tough and chewy in the final product. So I do want to hydrate them. And of course, the recipe says soak them in hot water. That's not exciting. So I will find something tasty, something spicy. I got some spiced rum, come to think of it. And then I will drain the rum out of them, so it's not like I'm putting a bunch of alcohol in my bread, but I'll have a nice, lovely spiced rum flavor kind of running through it. And then I'll also have a nice little shot of spiced apricot rum to make myself a beverage. Thank you for coming by, Axel. It's great chatting with you. Have a lovely night, and I will see you next time. I feel like I should have given my little spiel about knives and chopping, and of course I've already said that my knives are not sharp right now, and a sharp knife is safer than a dull knife. But I am making my little knuckle claw over here, so I'm keeping myself safe. Amazon, stop. Clear myself some room. It's puffed up. It smells good. But it's really thick, and I don't think it's quite done. So I'm going to give it another... That was the low end of the baking time. So I'm just going to give it another few minutes and then pull it out. But I can turn off the oven for my comfort, because it's still going to be hot in there for a minute. And then try to remember what I was doing. I need a little... Not that little. Mark must have used up all my ramekins because I could not find any. So I am going to do some hot water on these just so it'll soak in faster. But then I am going to put a nice tot of rum on it as well for flavor. Because why miss an opportunity to get some more flavor into whatever you are making? There we go. It's a nice little 50-50 mixture of rum and hot water to hydrate these, and those will just sit there and hydrate while my dough finishes its first knead. And I can put a couple things away and make sure I know what the next steps of my recipe are, because I can get that going. I know I am going to need a floured work surface, so take care of that. Bourbon in place of vanilla extract once. That would be nice, depending on what you were making. I mean, I'm just thinking like a vanilla cake. Just make a bourbon cake instead. Just have a shot of bourbon at that point. Bourbon ice cream. Ooh. Now I want to make more ice cream. There is a place. Oh, and chocolate chip cookies. Oh, that'd be a nice little hit. There's a place in San Francisco that does a recipe, an ice cream recipe called Secret Breakfast. And the secret is that it has oatmeal cookies in it instead of like oatmeal, and the ice cream is made with bourbon. So it's your little breakfast secret, and it's real good. And I made it once, and I think I overdid it with the bourbon because it was really strong. But it was delicious. But it was hard hitting. I've not been timing this. Was I timing? Let's not forget our cookies. Okay. Those are out, and those need to cool down. Wish I had a spot for them to cool down. I want them out of my way because I need the stove in just a minute. Because I need to start heating stuff up to make caramel. What I didn't do yet was check the recipe. Oh, that's the other thing I was supposed to put in. These apricots was vanilla paste. Speaking of vanilla, so I'm going for my rum and my vanilla today. Don't tell the secret. I mean, it's right on their menu, so it's not too much of a secret, but just enough of a secret. Secret from the kids. The other reason, of course, to cut up the apricots like this is because they are reasonably the same size as the slivered almonds. So everything is going to be, it's going to be easier to distribute them evenly, and you're not going to have like unpleasant chunks of things in your food, which is never good, right? You want pleasant chunks, not unpleasant chunks. Okay, I need to walk around behind again, just so I can check this thing. Of course, I've been brainstorming various ways, or various like BRB screens for this. I'm like, oh, I could just click off a thing and it's a picture of me like holding a whisk, doing something bakey, but it's a lot of staging and I have not figured that out yet. Oh, okay. I am doing the right thing. Yay. And 45. Okay, okay. We're there. We know what's going on. I need a robot to come over and do a photo shoot for me. Scenes in slobs versus... Yes, it's slobs. Just breakfast. I don't know. I do what smarter people. Yeah, I figured. I do what smarter people tell me to do, and someone told me to use Streamlabs, so I'm doing it. It's not really my favorite, so I don't know. Which is maybe why I haven't taken a whole bunch of time to set things up yet. Pretty similar. Yeah, I was reading. Someone was talking about migrating all of their stuff from one to the other a few days ago. I knew I have a sieve somewhere. Okay. thinking animated backgrounds. Transition stingers. Yeah, and see, that was the thing. When I was just using Twitch Studios, they had just the options for free transitions. And I had just put some of those on before Zach came over and told me not to use the Twitch Studio anymore. Um, I assume he knows better because he is a techie sort. Ooh, that does look nice now. Okay, I am going to call that good. I can give it a few needs. You know what, let's strain this first. Make sure we get all the lovely bits of vanilla out, because those are delicious. All those little black flecks are just our vanilla seeds, and that's where our flavor is. Just add our almonds right to that so we can get that cup out of the way. And there we go. There's a little bit of butter on my paddle, but I think we'll be all right. Oof, this is a sticky dough, but I think it's supposed to be that way. I hope it's supposed to be that way. Yeah, I'll be fancy eventually. I mean, I've started the process. I have that emote now, and I have 2 more, I think, that are gonna be ready pretty soon. And get some more flour on top, just so I can work with it, because it is very sticky. Now, the other thing I didn't do, I did get my bowl, but I did not grease it. Just want to get enough flour in here so it's not super sticky, and then pat it out into a rectangle. Oh, I see, yeah. I started doing some stuff, but then I decided I didn't like any of the default ones and the free ones, and I did not want to pay Streamlabs for them, so I was going to be ambitious and do some of my own. Have not gotten that far yet. It's one of those things I just really need to sit down and do. We'll get there. Okay, so now I'm just going to drop all my fillings right on there, spread them out, and then we'll use this technique that I saw on some fancy sourdough person. And it was not for, was it for focaccia? It was for focaccia, it wasn't for brioche. But I think it's going to translate kind of the same. You just kind of poke it down in to get it to start incorporating just with your fingertips. And then I'm going to get my bench scraper and fold it over. And of course, I said I was going to grease my bowl, but I have not done it yet. Just fold it over once the vertical way and once the horizontal way, and you'll see the Stuff starting to poke out the sides, but that's fine. That's what we want. And then I will grease my bowl and set it aside for first proofing. There we go. Now that sits for 45 minutes, and then we do that again, and then we do a third thing to shape everything, and then we bake it. So this is not going to be baked on stream because this needs another 3 hours of process before it's ready to bake, but you probably will see it at least get shaped and rolled and to its final proof stage. But now we will do a small amount of tidying and move on to making our caramel, because that is the next step in our shortbread. But I need some room for my life. And I need that light on so my yeast can be nice and happy and warm. There we go. Ooh, bright. Robo is starting real life D&D. Exciting. Awesome. Have a good time. Thank you for lurking. Always nice to see you. And I hope I get to play D&D with you at some point. Oh, still not in line, but right. You're Roll20. I hope I get to play D&D with you sometime in the near future. That would be super fun. Okay. Caramel. Can actually use... No, it's going to be just about 1 stick of butter. So let's find a stick of butter. Got butter somewhere. No, I've got butter in the freezer. And we're putting it in the pan, so it's going to melt anyway. Need to find a place for this pan. Somewhere. I need an island. I need a bigger kitchen. I need a lot of things. Am I done with the flour? I might be done with the flour, actually. Yeah, I'm actually done with flour, so I can put that away. That'll help my life. Okay. Go. Get my... Gonna put butter and cream and salt into a pan to start getting warm. I'm actually gonna use this pan. And I need slightly over a stick, so got that little dab from earlier. That'll be just about right. Then, I do have another measuring cup up here. Back to measuring metric. And this will be a salted caramel. Again, not super salty, but we do want to get our flavor enhancers in there. A couple of drops of orange to make sure my orange is running through the entire dish. That's not where the salt is. It's where my fancier salt is. But I don't think I want a bunch of like herby salts in this. Okay, and then in this pan, I'm just going to put, do need to measure this. Lost my scale again. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm supposed to cover my proofing bread with a towel. There we go. And then we start making our caramel. Losing everything every few seconds. My goodness, go to zero. Go to zero. I kind of need a new scale. This one is touchy. As long as I get it nice and even when I start, it is generally okay. But if you mess around with it like at all, it starts going a little bit wild. Okay. Heat gently to almost boiling. And I do put water in there. Okay, that is slightly simpler. I do have a couple of caramel recipes that just have you melt the sugar, and those are kind of a pain in my butt because you got to sit there and gently heat the sugar until it just starts melting, and it is very touchy, and then when you pour your warm cream mixture into it, it all seizes, and you have to sit there and stir and stir and stir until it all dissolves for you. So at least using a little bit of water in this caramel is going to make it just a tiny bit easier on me. Still touchy, but not quite so much. Okay, I need you to calm down. Don't boil away on me, just melt my butter. And of course, now that I'm on the stove, I'm going to hear Mark yell at me that I need to turn the fan on. Although, if I do this right, nothing should be burning. Although I can say that about almost anything that I'm cooking. Though half the time it's not fire, it's just steam. And still it registers in the smoke alarms. Okay, so that needs to just sit there and stay warm for me. And I can now just intensely watch my sugar. And I didn't set a timer for my bread proofing, but I imagine it was right around 6 when I got that in there. So 6:30 to 6:45 we can pull it out and do the second turn. And I should now remind Mark that he has forgotten to make any bread, and his parents, when they get here, are going to be sad. Oh well, they're going to be here for several days, so he'll just have to make them bread fresh while they are here. Heat gently, stirring occasionally until melted. So I am trying to get this sugar. Oop. I don't want to boil it really hard. I do want to, and see, because I have the water in there, I can also stir it every once in a while without worrying about getting it all crystallized, which helps. And also, don't ever think about like putting your finger on the the whisk because it will burn you. I have learned this the hard way. I was just thinking I could put some of this vanilla vanilla apricot rum in here, but that is a different dish. It's not gonna translate well for me. Okay, now I just need to sit here and stare at it until it decides to turn golden on me. And then I pour this cream in here. My cream, which is boiling away. I'm hoping it's tasty. I have an interesting track record with caramels. We are crossing our fingers today. And I will have to get out a thermometer because it has to get to a certain temperature or else it will not set up for us. Cook, sugar, cook. It's much more exciting from this view. I need an overhead camera somewhere over here so you can see what's going on. As I assure you, this sugar is just bubbling and roiling away. But it is not yet turning brown on me. The water makes it easier, but it also slows that down. Like, if you didn't have the water in there, as the sugar melted, it would go like the brown caramelly color right away, or almost right away. Whereas this slows it down. But it helps. It helps us. It's boiling. I don't want to turn it up like to full blast. It's almost full blast anyway. Just dance. Ooh, I can smell it. Should probably be wearing an apron for this. I'm just staring at my aprons hanging on the hook over there. Oh, you're getting there. Or almost. I see some color. So I'm sure it doesn't help that I've been using the same whisk over here to make sure my cream doesn't burn. Oh, there we go. Oh, I see it. It's going. It's getting brown on the edges. Just bringing that in, making sure I don't burn anything, making sure it stays even. And of course I'm seeing the bubbles on top, which are not brown bubbles. So I need to stir down and make sure that I know what color it actually is. So the longer you let this go at this point, see now that it's getting actually brown, I need to keep a really close eye on it. No stepping away, because the longer you let this go at this point, the browner it will become. It'll start going faster and faster until it burns. Um, so now that it has actually gotten brown on me, I'm turning it off, turning it low. I'll turn off my cream, and then I will add my cream to this. Slowly, in a stream, it will seize up and bubble up a little bit, but that is fine. That is what I want. I wish I had a longer whisk, because it is very hot steam over here. There we go. Maybe not an apron, but maybe some shoes, because I have had this splash up and splishy splash on my toes before. There we go. There is our caramel. We are on low heat, because we do not want to burn it at this point, because it looks so nice. Looks so nice on us right now. Nice and smooth. And we just want it to come up to whatever the temperature says it's supposed to be. 230. Oh, we are there already, so I'm going to turn that off, and I'll keep whisking until it cools down a little bit so it does not sit and burn. Should give myself a towel over here so I can bring it over. There we go. And there's my caramel sauce. And as soon as it is cooled, or mostly cooled at least, I want to get it down to half this temperature. I could actually put it in an ice bath, but I'm not sure that I want it to cool that quickly. I'm just going to be patient and get my exercise in and let this come down for me. And I can feel it coming down and getting cooler and thicker, which is good news because we do want it to make a nice even layer on our shortbread. And this is really the hardest bit right here. Like when you look at the recipe and it says requires some skill, this is the hard part. No, do not touch this. You will burn yourself. The vultures come in and start asking for tastes of things. Wish I was ambidextrous. You can tell when I start stirring with my left hand how it gets kind of awkward. Not natural. I don't know why I don't make caramel more often. Probably because it's a pain. It's so easy to buy. Like in sauces and in thick sauces, thin sauces, ice cream toppers. I mean, I'm spoiled with our local sweet shop. They've got really nice caramels to purchase. Here we go. Okay, now I want to get this. It is thickening up into like a setup kind of consistency, so now I want to get it onto my shortbread before I cannot smooth it anymore. Hopefully we are, yep, our pan is cooled. And I'm just going to build it right in here, because then it'll keep its nice square shape, which makes it nice and easy to cut into portions. There we go. And now it'll cool even faster because it's not in our hot pan anymore. But hopefully, I mean, that wasn't too hard, right? I mean, Mark would probably say that it is too complicated for him, but I'm sure he could do it if he really set his mind to it, or just barely set his mind to it. I'm just coaxing this into the corners to make a nice, even layer, and this should set up real nice for me. Of course, you could go fancy and cut out rings of your shortbread and build it up on a little base, make little like petit four kind of things, but again, we are not going that fancy today. Cool, and I'm going to pop this in the fridge to cool completely. Once I make a space, because I did not prepare a shelf. There we go. Okay, now we are ready for the last bit. Well, that is cooling, and I still have 20 minutes before I need to refold my buns. I really wish I had like a third thing to cook now, because those buns take longer than is gonna make a entertaining stream. I guess I could just switch over to a video game or something. Do something for that 45 minutes. But I won't worry about it until I have made my ganache. So let's get my scale back out. And I've got cream in here too, so I'm just going to use the same pan because all it's got in there is cream and butter and salt, which is what I want in my ganache. So, got my fresh squeezed OJ. A little pulp in there. It's going to be fine. See, just the liquid sloshing around in there is giving my scale difficulties. I assure you, the weight is not changing. The liquid is just moving around because it's fluctuating between 0 and 10 and -10. There we go. It's calmed down, so we can put the rest of our stuff in there. And at this point, let's see. The other thing I can measure out is the cream, so I'm not going to worry about that for a sec. But I'm just going to use a little bit of chocolate that I've got laying around. I've had this for probably too long. I wouldn't want to just... I would just eat it. I'm not kidding anyone. That is that much. This does not seem like nearly enough chocolate for that much juice. So I am just gonna kind of put more in. Because hey, I'm in charge. And the nice thing about ganache is it's really easy to play with in case you don't have your consistency quite right. You can always just add a little bit more chocolate or a little bit more cream until it gets to a nice consistency. I think I also just want to make more than the base recipe called for, because the base recipe was for individual servings, which didn't use the whole like tray. Hi, Hugo. I will absolutely add some cream for you after I taste test this chocolate. Hmm, it's good chocolate. Um, this is actually way more technical than the usual technique for me making ganache. My usual ganache technique is just pour some chocolate in a microwave-proof container and then pour some cream on top of it and then just melt it together. But I want to be a little bit more precise with this because I do want it to set up on top of my bars. I know, right? The bread the dough is sitting there waiting to be done, and I'm gonna have to find something to do for 45 minutes while it proofs again. Which honestly just might be playing like some Hammer Watch or something quick, some sort of quick game that I can pop into while I'm standing right here. Was that enough cream for you, Hugo? Hi, Theo. The pair of you. And I put away. Oh, got another whisk over here. I just needed a rinse. Depends on which answer I want. Well, there is always more cream available for you if you request it. So now I'm just melting this together. It actually kind of looks like when I make red wine hot cocoa, because it's red plus cream plus chocolate. And if no one's ever had red wine hot cocoa, like I make it for Thanksgiving, it is delicious and it is dangerous because you can drink the whole pot and it's so bad for you because one, you're drinking a whole bottle of wine. Two, you're drinking like a whole pint of cream. And three, you're adding a bunch of sugar and chocolate to it. So absolutely do not make it for just yourself because I have done that before. Um, I do not think I made it to the dinner table that year. that was that was exciting. Um, yeah, so definitely for a big group of family to share with you. Family that does not plan on driving anywhere for many hours. Oh, that's why it was so much orange juice. It told me to reduce it. Fine. That makes sense. Okay. That's why it seemed like a lot of liquid. That's what I get for not reading the entire recipe. But that's fine. I'm just going to have to throw like twice as much chocolate in here, plus some more cream. to make up for it. Let's just let that cook for a minute. I'm going to let that boil to reduce. Then I'll add some more chocolate because I did not read. Reading is fundamental so you don't mess up your recipes. Hi, Bo. Welcome to the stream. Just in time to watch me mess up what I was doing. I somehow made a perfect caramel and then I messed up ganache, which is the exact opposite of what anyone should have expected. Um, yeah, even Mark is surprised. Like, how'd you mess up ganache? No, I think it'll be all right. It's just gonna take longer than it should. And honestly, I might just add more chocolate to it. But I do need to cook some of the water out, or else it will not be the right consistency. So I just need to let that sit there and reduce for a few minutes. And then add some more chocolate. Which is a good thing. That's why I didn't put the chocolate away, because I knew that I might eat it. That's not at all why I didn't put it away. I just hadn't got around to it. But let's just let that keep going. It'll keep going. We are at 6:30. Let's check on our dough. So we are getting some rise out of that. That's good. That's what we want. Let's do our second fold. Reflour my work surface. And as it proofs and gets worked, it is going to become less sticky. So I'm just going to pat it out again, and it's already not sticking to my hands nearly so much this time, which is a good sign. That's what I want. As it proofs and gets closer to being done. And you can see all the apricot bits in there. And see, I don't have to even use my bench scraper this time. It is folding over for me without it. A little bit of stickage, but that's fine. That's what we want. Our bread is coming together. Although I will use my scraper to get it back in my bowl. Plop. And remember to put my towel on and set that second 45-minute timer. 35, that'll be 740 when it's ready to go. Yeah, we're reducing. We're getting thicker. But because I did not reduce it in the first place, I do need to add some more chocolate because we have more liquid. Well, I will probably add a touch more cream as well to make Hugo happy. I know they wanted some more cream. Of course, Hugo is fit as a fiddle and can probably handle more cream than I can. throw a couple more handfuls in to melt down in. Let's call it 3. I don't think anyone's going to complain about a little bit more chocolate. You act like I wasn't intentionally throwing those words out there in that configuration, Teo. I know what my audience likes. There we go. That's much better. Much better texture. Nice and shiny and glossy. It's probably too much for what I need, but I can always put the extra away in a container and use it on any number of other things. Maybe I'll make waffles. Should make waffles tomorrow anyway. I should get up and do a ring fit workout and then make waffles. There we go. Our nice, thick, glossy ganache. I'm going to let that cool down a bit. Yeah, it says put 2 tablespoons on each slice of the ganache, and it's going to be like 8 slices, 16 tablespoons. It's what? Might be. Is that a cup? That's a cup. That's 1 cup. Um, this is more than 1 cup. So we are going to have some extra. For those people who are new into this evening, how are your days? How was your day, Bo? How was your day, Hugo? How was your day, Teo? Oop, spilling. Better be less vigorous with my stirring, or else I'm going to get my shirt all dirty. He's the Grand Matriarch. 1.5-hour phone call. Aren't you a millennial, Teo? No, you're a Zoomer. These Zoomers with their phone calls. These retro phone calls. I don't have any. Oh, I do have a towel. Yay! Towel. Put a drop of orange in there too, since we did not get quite the reduction that we should have. Aren't you a Zoomer? I don't know. Right, I know. I feel the same way. I'm like at the cusp of X and millennial, but I was not raised like a millennial. So, I do not tend to identify as such. Okay. Let's get our shortbread out of the fridge and use some sort of receptacle to pour that on so we can keep it even. I feel like I used to have some more things to use to pour, but I might have gotten rid of them. Yay, second shot! Synchronous sessions with some classmates practicing skills, eating and chilling. Awesome. Well, this is a, hopefully you have time to make some of this for dessert. Didn't take any time at all, right? What are we at? Hour and a half? Hour and a half-ish? And we're not quite done. It's still got to chill. So there's how much the recipe said it was supposed to be about. But I went rogue and I didn't cut out circles of my shortbread. So let's call it twice as much. And of course, we can always just add a little extra chocolate because we've got room. And we still have extra in here for putting on or in whatever we want, including our mouths. Orangey. I'm going to try not to just eat a bunch of that. And I did use pretty dark chocolate, so it is pretty bitter. Not like bitter, but pretty dark and rich and strong. So it's good that we have a nice, crumbly, light shortbread and caramel to go with it. So we should get a range of textures and flavors, which should be really nice together. And then we find a receptacle for the rest of it, because we don't want to waste it. Gotta love when we get the exact right size container on the first try. And of course, I'm sitting here saying that that can be delicious in or on any number of things, but I will most likely put it in the fridge and then forget about it and wonder what it is in a couple of weeks. What the heck is that? Hi, Sumu. Welcome in. We just finished putting together our Millionaire shortbread. Our hot cross buns are on their second proofing stage out of 3. So we are pretty close to either wrapping or doing something for 40 minutes until the buns are ready to shape and put into a pan. So, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I am going to clean up a little bit just to make my life a bit easier, and then maybe play some sort of video game, because that'll occupy me for 40 minutes. Right? I don't know if I have eaten them. I certainly have never made them. So this was an experiment, but I've seen them done, and I think my dough is looking good. Um, I mean, fingers crossed, because I don't usually make bread, but I am hoping they turn out good. If they don't, or if they're too tough or anything, then they will be, I mean, they should be good, like right out of the oven, just to eat with their icing. If they are not, then they will be fine, sliced and toasted with some butter. Either way, they are going to go into someone's face and be enjoyed. Thank you for your confidence. I appreciate that. Um, but let's find. I mean, yes, Teo is a black hole for food. One of those young people that eats and eats and does not gain bunches of weight, which I personally can't pull off. But let's let's do that. And I stand all day and do lots of active things. Of course, I am not near so active as I used to be able to be. I don't know. Teo, play Hammer Watch with me. uh, I will switch to a game briefly because I need 40 minutes. I need to do something for 40 minutes until my bread is ready to go. So, let's switch over to Hammer Watch. Teo's making a snack, and then he will join me. I'm going to create a lobby. Yeah, right now. What'd you think? What'd you think? Because I literally need to do something for a minute until my dough's ready to shape. Of course, I'll have to explain this to any viewers popping in. Hey, I swear we're cooking, we're baking, but we need we need 40 minutes for bread to proof. And if anyone plays this and wants to pop in, I mean that server, the room is just open. Haha, he's playing. Oh, I need to fix my desktop audio. That didn't do it. Did that do it? That didn't do it either. How about that? No, still no. Sometimes this works. Sometimes it decides to not like me. Whatever. Oh, there. It is working. I just had the sound very far down. There we go. 45, 15, 20. 30 minutes. I have 30 minutes that I need to kill. 7:20. I did my math wrong. I can add. I swear. Deo, you coming in here? My town. Come into my town. I'm already up. I'm ready to go. You nerd. You even got my little imp here that will pick up gold for me. There he is. Let's go! Oh, I should turn my fountain on. One sec. Haha! Oh. Do we need to pop out and start over? Because Caleb decided to join in? Oh, he made it in. Oh, good. Perfect. He is. He popped in. Still got space for one if anyone plays. Although you'd probably have to join me to add me as a... Oh, dang it. A Steam friend. Yes. Murder all the things. It's all just bugs. Oh, secret passage. Get over here, Teo. We are skipping early levels because we are more powerful than that already. Get wrecked, skeletons. You think you can shoot arrows at me? I can still get poisoned, though. Whatever. I did that wrong. Oops. I know, right, Joey? I am waiting for uh, Buns to proof, so I had to find something to do to kill half an hour. Oh my goodness, I should be better at this. Whatever. I'm over it. Just a key now, because I screwed it up too much. Blame drunk brain. Just wait for those boys to get... Oh, there's an item up there. Gotta run and get the item. Item! I'm not really looking for the button if you guys are. Oh, he was using the elevator. I'm not leveled up yet. I feel like I should have leveled up already. There it goes. I guess you should be tipped off, Joey, since the background instead of my one nook over there is the kitchen. It's the hot tip that I've been cooking. Oop. Get over here. Mark's wondering what's going on over here. He could be playing with us. Oh, who needs to regen health and mana when you can just level up? You have a chakram? I was talking to someone about the game I was playing the other day, or yesterday even. I was playing Kingdoms of Amalur, and someone recommended that I play with the chakram because it was fun. Oh, can't get that because... Hi, Gil. Welcome in. Of course, at the most surprising and confusing time of what's going on. Hi. How was your stream? Let's I am video gaming in the kitchen. I never did a shout out for Leah. Leah is great. She streams um Stardew and Kunai. I apologize. Yay, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Um, yes, this is neither food nor drink at the current moment, and that is because I am making hot cross buns, and those need to proof for half an hour before I can move on to baking or to shaping them. And I will probably not choose another game to play for the extra hour and a half they need to do in their last proof. But I needed to do something for 45 minutes while my dough was proofing. So I'm doing a quick little run of Hammer Watch. But how was your stream? What did you play tonight, Gil? And welcome in, Aristo. I knew that if anyone came in, I was going to have to explain what was going on, because this is absolutely not at the moment. Oop! I did not mean to drink two potions. Oh, and I forgot I can heal. Ha ha! I'm silly. Yes, I thought I would do something more entertaining than just talking as I waited for uh, dough to proof. Whew! That was getting close there. Dishonored. You haven't played that for a couple weeks, I think. Good, it was great. I'm glad to hear. I am sorry to make your buns cross. I hope to make your buns happy very soon. Good day, good stream. That is always good to hear. Oop, I am getting distracted. We always like to hear when our friends have good days, good streams. Oh, maybe it was It Takes Two that you had a week off of. There was something that you were off a week for, or something. I could just be misremembering completely, which would not be unlike me at all. Um, but whatever you played, I'm glad it went well and you had a good time. Yes, we were having a pretty chill stream today until I realized I needed to kill a bunch of time. Ah, okay. I knew it was something. How dare work get in the way of more important things? So you're just running around and collecting all the gold. Got my little imp over here that picks up stuff for me. Isn't that the worst? So, interestingly enough, Gil, my organization, has been being really good about promoting inclusivity lately. And they've done recognition for Black History Month and for Women's History Month, and now they're doing AAPI. So, I don't recall them ever doing Pride Month, anything for Pride Month. So, I am going to wait patiently and hopefully for June and see if they do some sort of announcement, and hope I do not have to educate my executives, because that would not be the most fun thing. Oh no, great threat. Oop. We haven't found the exit yet. Yeah, no, I'm openly gay at work too. That's not a thing, but they're actively. Oh, Caleb died. Whoops. Oh, he was trying to get a chest. Oh no. Oh no. I don't even know if I want to save him. Oop. Did not do that the best. This is Heroes of Hammerwatch. And it's just a kind of a bullet hell game. But we are looking for a button. There's the button. Um, so you can. It is a 1 to 4 players generally. I think you can break it. Yeah, it's a little bit gauntlet-y. Oh, we don't even have a red key. Um, could just leave. Ah. When you play it with, you've played it. Oh, it was Arcade Bear. Uh, yeah, it's fun. We play every once in a while. Do a run or two. I know. I'm going back to Food and Drink once we finish this run, just because I needed to um, let time for my dough to proof, and I thought it would not be the most entertaining thing to just sit around and wait for dough to rise. So once I need another 13-ish minutes on the bread dough, and then we will finish up this run and switch back to Food and Drink and get those buns shaped and on to their last proof. And then I will end the stream because that is going to be another hour and a half before those are ready to go in the oven. I need to get better about aiming my shield because I should not be getting hit by any of these projectiles. But if nothing else, I did get a couple level ups. Ideally, we would beat the boss of this level, because as you beat the boss with your various character classes, you get permanent upgrades for all your classes. But who knows if we will beat it because we have 1 death already and we have not seen a graveyard. We can just let Teo do all the work. I'm sure he would say that he does that every time anyway. Oh, no. That's no fun. Hopefully your work stuff is resolved quickly, Gil. I keep forgetting that I have healing because I am a silly person. Should really be using that more often because I keep getting hit by things. Hi. Playing this while my bread bake proofs. Whoops. He distracted me.
Took out the whole team.
Ah!
That's a bad one.
Dang it.
That's a bad one.
Stop distracting me. Bad husband. Okay, that wasn't me. I was killed by Teo that time. Oh well. +2 to gaming on character gen. I see. Okay. That was good enough. We can go back to the cooking stream. Bye. Thank you, Teo and Caleb, for briefly gaming with me while we waited for our Dota proof. Let's see how we're doing over here. Okay, so I've got my quarter sheet pan, which is great because it fits in the toaster oven. I could actually bake the whole thing in there, and that would not heat my entire kitchen up, which is great. We love that. Oh, good. You're back in time to see the actual food and drink part. So we have made your buns. Hopefully, happy buns for Gil. Um, you did. You ate the rest of the Mexican cheese on your quesadillas. Oh, well, I couldn't find the Mexican cheese earlier. I will do the best I can to make your buns happy, Gil. Rather than cross. We do not want cross buns. We do. In the fridge. I have to find pork in the fridge for the husband. No, thank you. Love these one-sided conversations for my streams. What's going on? Oh, I'm just talking to the husband. Divide the dough into 12 equal portions. And okay. So, this is the part where if you have seen Bake Off or anything, you will probably have seen someone doing this with a much higher level of skill than I have. And of course, with much more open kitchen space. Yes, I am matchy today. The shorts and the tank top. Okay. So I need to figure out how to divide this evenly into 12 bits. So I guess we just kind of make a rectangle and cut it in 3 one way and 4 the other. So I want to do the short way. I want my 3. And then this way, we'll do 4. And hopefully they are somewhat the same size. I could like weigh them or something, but that would make too much sense. So then you just kind of roll them around in your hand to get them into a ball, and this is taking more pressure than I thought initially. That's a pretty good amount of pressure. Okay, I'm pushing down pretty hard, and then we get a smooth kind of ball shape. I can tell some of these are bigger than others, so I'm just going to try to pinch them into somewhat the right sizes. No, the only competition is competing with the husband for kitchen space. See, and I can actually feel it, surprisingly, in my hand because it's taking up more of my hand. I want to have the Maybe my hands are just used to handling balls of various types, but I know kinda how big they feel and when one feels bigger than the last one. And of course, um, Paul Hollywood actually did this in his masterclass for the GBBO Masterclass series. And of course, he takes two and he rolls them together. I can only handle one ball at a time right now. I do not have that kind of dexterity in my left hand. Yeah, that's the smaller one. But I also think these are going to be slightly different than like the hot cross buns you would have seen on Bake Off because the cross is going to be made with icing and on Bake Off, or I guess a traditional hot cross bun, you'd make like a paste out of flour and water and just do a little line across each of them. And then when it bakes, that little cross stays white, light colored, so bakes right in. But instead of just doing a flour water paste, we're just going to make icing and put a cross of icing on when we finish them. Because one, that sounds delicious. Who doesn't want a nice sweet iced bun? Um, and two, that's just the recipe I'm using. I'm doing what it tells me to do. Because I have never made it before, so I try not to go too off script when I am not very familiar with what I'm doing. I already went off script by changing up my fillings. I had dried apricots and almonds, so I put in dried apricots and almonds. The original recipe calls for dried cranberries and raisins. And there we go. I think this just needs to be set aside to proof for another hour and a half or so. It says right in the instructions, when you become proficient, you can roll one in each hand, do two at a time. 3 rows of 4, and let proof. Okay, so that is what I will leave you with, is these balls of dough. Those are just going to sit, I'm going to cover them. They're just going to sit there for another hour and a half, and then they will be... Oh, it's not candied fruit, it's just dried fruit. So I had dried apricots. I might do some candied fruit on my Millionaire bars, which I will actually pull out before I end the stream because they should be chilled and ready to go. But this is just dried fruit. So if you like dehydrated fruit, um, then you might still like these. Um, but I didn't candy anything. I just used them out of a bag. So, although if you go to Trader Joe's, you can get already candied like orange slices and things. But yeah, not for these. These are dry. I lost my towel somewhere. Oh well, that's what you get when you let your husband into the kitchen. He moves things. So I'm just going to set these off. No worries, Gil. I'm going to end this in just a sec. If you hang out for 2 seconds, I will show you the bars. Well, they aren't quite set up. They're still warm, but here are what the Millionaire bars look like. There is a layer of cookie in there and a layer of caramel and then chocolate on top. But I'm not going to slice those because my ganache is not set and it would just run all over the place. It is still too warm. So, everyone look forward to seeing those on Instagram. Feel free to follow. All the food pics go up on there. The... Oh, Here I accused my husband of stealing my towel. And it was right there. Um, there we go. Uh-huh. So yeah, I will get those baked off. I will get them iced, and I will get the bars chilled and cut, and that's going to take another while yet. But yeah, look to Instagram to see those. And hopefully, and I will then post the recipes and get those all up on YouTube. So hopefully, y'all come bake some at home. But that'll be it for me for tonight. Let's go find someone to raid. Can't read Gil because he finished and went to bed. But we can raid. Who's on? Let's go raid Hugo. Hugo came into the stream and hang out and had a nice time with us for a little bit. So let's go and give Hugo some love. If I can type. All these dang. My keyboard is dying, and so it keeps hitting keys twice, but I think I got that spelled right eventually. There we go. So thank you for coming and hanging out. I will probably be on tomorrow if I can get my butt up and moving and do some Ring Fit and some more Pokemon Snap. Um, if not, then I will see you at the next probably spontaneous board game or video game stream. Thank you for hanging out, and I hope you bake something delicious and have that with your loved ones. And whatever you make, I'm sure it'll be good enough to eat. Till next time, thanks for coming.